So my question is, do you have any advice as a father of girls yourself on disciplining your daughters?
Yeah, no. No. Ain't got nothing for you, player. Sorry about that. I got 4 daughters. I've never spanked one of them because I, too, didn't want them to equate a man's love with physical abuse, so I've never hit them. They've taken full advantage of it. I'm completely and totally wrapped around my daughter's fingers. I give them everything they ask me for. I've never turned them down. I've bought them everything they've ever wanted. I've traveled. I bought horses, cars, houses. I have ruined my daughters. All 4 of them girls is spoiled.
Y'all don't see the problem with this? This has to be the most dysfunctional advice that I've ever heard come from Steve Harvey. One of the things that really works my nerves about this particular answer that he gave was how the audience laughed at it like it was funny.
Question is, do you have any advice as a father of girls yourself on disciplining your daughters?
Yeah, no.
So I got to look at this in 2 different ways. Was Steve Harvey looking to ignore the fact that this young man is seeking advice from a mentor in order to appease the female audience and make them laugh? Or was he real in what he said, which would actually be even worse, that he never disciplined any of his daughters and they're ruined? Let me tell you our jobs as parents. It is to instill discipline in our children, not discipline our children. It's a difference. If he was making jokes in order to appease his female audience, he's problematic because that means this young man is looking to this man for guidance about his family, his household, and how to operate as a father of his daughters, and to come way out there to Steve Harvey's show and to get nothing. I ain't got nothing for you. That right there is not only disingenuous, it's disrespectful. Because this man just came way out to your show, paid money to go to your show to ask this question from Steve Harvey. And for him to turn around and get nothing, that's terrible. Now, what if he actually believes in this? And he's not just saying stuff to appease his female audience. Like I said, it's even worse. Because let me tell you something about discipline. It's not about whooping your kids, hitting your kids. So I agree with Steve Harvey on that. Nobody said whoop your kids or should I whoop my kids or anything like that. Discipline is instilling a mindset. See, discipline, as an example, is going to the gym 4 times a week without missing a day. But what if when you go to the gym, you don't know what you're really doing? Then you go get a personal trainer, and that personal trainer teaches you more discipline within the gym. So you teach yourself discipline by going 4 times a week, every week. But once you get in the gym, the personal trainer will teach you how to be disciplined inside of the gym. That is what discipline is. Would a personal trainer whoop you or hit you? No. The same thing about the military. You go to the military to learn discipline. Do they beat you up? Do they hit you? No. So discipline is up here, not here or here. So for this man to actually tell this young man, I don't discipline my kids, is irresponsible. You are Steve Harvey, and you have a show where people literally come and ask you questions. And for you to not have an answer for this man is irresponsible. You have daughters. So since this man, Steve Harvey, was not able to help this young man, I'll help anybody watching this video. Because I also have daughters. I have 2 daughters. And I disciplined my girls, and my girls are now disciplined to this day as grown women. My daughters go through me when they meet a guy. I have an open door policy for my daughters. That's another thing. Me and my daughters have a great line of communication. I tell them things, they tell me things. We have a great conversation. We go to the movies together. We go out to eat all the time. So we have a great relationship. You see how this has nothing to do with discipline or hitting somebody or whoopings? This is about relationship. And this is the thing that this young man was looking for from Steve Harvey. Hey, how as a man do I cultivate a relationship with girls when I'm not a female? How does a guy do that? Some men don't know. So the number one thing is to spend time with your daughters, keep the lines of communication open with your daughters, let them know that no matter what it is, whether it's boys or whether it's sex or anything, the lines of communication is open. Don't be so judgmental on your kids. Let your kids know what to do and what not to do when they go out into the world. As an example, me and my kids had sex talks. I, the father, not their mother, gave my kids sex talks. Their mother did certain talks, but I was in charge of sex talks. So on a normal basis, depending on how old they were, they had particular types of sex talks depending on their age and their stage. Then on top of that, when my kids became teenagers, we sat down and talked about when you go to a club, when you go to a bar, when you go to a house party, but carry your drink to the bathroom with you, because sometimes you can sit your drink down and somebody can drop some pills in it. And then at the same time, put a napkin over your drink, even when you're sitting in front of your drink. Because what also can happen is a guy can reach over and say, hey, I just want to grab the salt. I just want to grab the ketchup. You know, when you sit at an open bar with somebody, a guy might say, oh, my name is so-and-so. And you shake his hand. And while you're shaking his hand, he can drop something in your drink while his hand is going over the drink. Little things like that actually saved my oldest daughter from something terrible happening. She literally told me that she went to a house party that I told her she can go to because I taught her how to operate in this world. So she went to a house party, and guess what? They had the drinks spiked. But because of her not wanting to drink, because I taught her that usually with house parties with young people, the drinks that is available to everybody is usually spiked with something. So make sure to only drink water. Don't drink anything, because no matter what you drink, if it's made by somebody else, it's most likely spiked with something. She started paying attention to how loopy everybody was. And she went to her friend and said, yo, let's get out of here. And they actually left. So with all that being said, that is how you discipline your daughters. So what Steve Harvey said, or shall I say, didn't say, is irresponsible and disrespectful. Because that young man came to your show for guidance and you turned him away in order to garner some attention from the women, or either to get some laughs from the women. He's up there saying, well, yeah, my daughters are ruined, and all the women are laughing. Why are they laughing? Because that's another problem. That ain't funny. Your children being ruined isn't funny. Your children being spoiled isn't funny. Because altogether, if you're buying your kids llamas, horses, cars, and spoiling them to the point where they're never denied and told no, how do you think this woman or these women are going to be able to go out in the world and live a normal, prosperous life? You do know that they're going to be told no multiple times by men, companies, or the world, or whatever. And guess what? They're going to ball up into a corner and cry their eyes out. Why? Because you never told them no. I told my kids no. Why? Because I, as a father, discipline my kids. Not by hitting them, but by teaching them that you can't get everything you ask for just because you're my daughter, just because you're a girl, because the world does not owe you anything. Now, did I give my kids a lot of things? Yeah. But altogether, they had a healthy understanding of sometimes you get what you want and sometimes you don't. But in most cases, there's something that you have to give in order to get. So if you get out here with a guy, you know, as a young girl, and he's just giving you all these things, just know he's going to want something back. Because I wanted something back when I gave my kids stuff. What is that? My authority. If you do what I tell you to do and operate under my protection as a father without straying away or acting crazy and being rebellious, yes, you can get almost whatever you want, almost. And then they understood it. Because whether you like it or not, life is to a certain degree transactional. Life is about reciprocation. I want something from you and you want something from me. So now when you go out in the world and you get a husband, you got to give him something just like he has to give you something. He could take care of you. He could pay all the bills. He can keep you safe, but what do you give him? Your allegiance. You allow him to lead you. You don't turn around and wear a short skirt out at a club and twerking on random dudes. No, you don't do that, because you don't get to do whatever it is you want to do while receiving something from men. I taught them that. You don't just run around doing whatever it is you want to do, because that isn't discipline. And that is a word. That is a specific word that was said in this video, discipline. So everything that I said was all about discipline. And not one time did I say something about whooping or hitting somebody. Steve Harvey, from the bottom of my heart, as a father of girls also, what you said to this young man is irresponsible. And the excessive laughing and the clapping after he said, no, I don't discipline my daughters. That audience also should be embarrassed. What are y'all laughing and clapping for?